Video game release schedules are ridiculously packed with great games at this point in time, which means that invariably, some gems are always going to get lost in the shuffle. 2021 had a large number of such games that either didn't do as well as they should have, or just didn't do well at all, period. And here, we're going to shine a light on a few such games that deserve more of your attention. Cyber Shadow. With its gorgeous pixel art aesthetic, stiff challenge, and nail-biting action, Cyber Shadow, which launched in the early goings of 2021, delivered a thrilling 2D action platformer that no fan of the classic Ninja Gaiden games should miss out on. There's been no shortage of indie games that have tried their hand at that particular style of action, and while quite a few of them have done so successfully, very few have touched the same heights as Cyber Shadow. Unmetal. The future of Metal Gear Solid is as uncertain as it's ever been, but while we wait for that next stealth masterpiece to come around, if it ever does, there's plenty else to focus on. 2D stealth action title Unmetal launched in late September, and while one of the game's biggest draws here is its cheeky parodying of Metal Gear Solid, as its name suggests, it's also just a really well-made, extremely enjoyable stealth game. Fans of the genre should check this one out. Neo: The World Ends With You. The World Ends With You fans had to wait an interminably long time to finally get a sequel to the cult classic RPG, but thankfully that sequel was worth the wait. From music and combat to story and its sense of style, Neo: The World Ends With You delivers in all the areas that fans of the first game would have wanted it to, and then some. It's just a shame that Square Enix marketed this game as poorly as it did, because honestly, this is one of the best RPGs of the year. Mundaun. The horror genre has enjoyed a major resurgence in recent years, and indies have been quite as responsible for that as the AAA giants like Resident Evil. And one of the most unique and unsettling indie horror games we played in a long time is Mundaun. It's a generally scary game, using its mysterious story and atmospheric setting to deliver actual proper scares, and the game's stellar pencil-drawn aesthetic contributes to that immensely. Chicory: A Colorful Tale. Like a few other games on this list, Chicory's unique art style is bound to instantly draw you in the moment you lay eyes on it, but thankfully, there's more than enough substance here to make sure you actually stick around. Whether it's because of its thematically rich story or its charming painting mechanics, its simple yet engaging puzzles, or its many heartwarming moments, one way or another, Chicory will leave a strong impression on you. Dismantle. Given how crowded the survival genre is, it's no surprise that even some genuinely good games can get lost in all the noise. Dismantle, sadly, seems to be one of those games. While its post-apocalyptic setting might give you the impression that it's a fairly by-the-numbers experience, it's actually anything but. With impressive destructibility in its environments, a wide gamut of addictive systems and mechanics, crafting, building, farming, fishing, and so much more, this is a game that you can easily lose dozens of hours to. Psychonauts 2. Microsoft hasn't actually shared any numbers of Psychonauts 2's sales or player base, so we don't actually know how well the game has or hasn't done. Either way, more people should play it. It's a flat-out one of the best games of the year. Not only does it live up to the hype and long wait, it manages to dwarf its already excellent predecessor in every way possible, telling an excellent story with charming characters while also crafting engaging platforming challenges, all while exhibiting the kind of consistent creativity that is basically impossible to find anywhere else. Project Winter. Social deduction games have enjoyed an explosion in popularity over the last year or so, thanks mostly to Among Us. But as much of a revelation as Innersloth's game has been, for those who are looking for alternatives, there are some good options out there. One such option is Project Winter, a game that sadly flew under the radar for the vast majority of people, but one that, if you choose to invest some time into it, will not disappoint. It's a little more hardcore and way more demanding than some of its peers, but if this is a genre that you like, it'll sink its claws into you like nothing else. Maquette. First-person puzzler Maquette may not have turned out as good as some might have hoped, and sure, it doesn't stand toe-to-toe with some of the best games in that category, but viewed in isolation, this is a great game. Puzzles are mostly well-designed and enjoyable, and the environments in this game are, more often than not, stunning to look at. It won't blow you away, but if you're looking for a brief, breezy, fun puzzle game, look no further than Maquette. Unpacking. Unpacking really just came out of nowhere. Given its weird premise, it's no surprise that the game got next to no buzz in the lead up to its launch. But you can add us to the list of people who've been telling you that this is a surprisingly affecting experience that you need to check out. Not only does it use a premise that should be nothing but mundane to deliver surprisingly engaging puzzles, it also blends that with its storytelling in consistently moving and thoughtful ways. By the end, it leaves the kind of lasting impression on you that's hard for any game to pull off. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. In a list full of offbeat indies and little-known gems, this AAA blockbuster based on one of the world's most popular franchises is definitely the odd one out, but all the negativity surrounding Marvel's Avengers surely affected the performance of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. If you do decide to give this a chance, and you really should, you'll see that as a single-player story-driven game, it's nothing like that game. The story and the cast of characters here form the backbone of an excellent game that's consistently engaging from beginning to end, and while the gameplay won't blow anyone away, it certainly does more than enough to ensure you're constantly enjoying yourself. Lone Echo 2. Simply by virtue of being a VR exclusive game, Lone Echo 2, like its predecessor, hasn't received the amount of attention that it most definitely deserves. Because just like the first Lone Echo, this is a legitimately good game. It doesn't have the same impact because it's a pretty iterative sequel, but it uses the VR medium in very interesting ways with smart puzzles and environmental interactions, while also telling a solid story. It's not quite a flagship VR experience, but those who are interested in VR should definitely give this one a go nonetheless. Black Legend. Turn-based tactical RPGs are a dime a dozen, which means there's always so much competing for your attention. Black Legend didn't quite touch any lofty heights when it launched earlier this year, so it's not surprising that it sort of just passed everyone by. But even so, it was a really solid game that deserved more attention. It's a mechanically tight experience that delivers solid, satisfying role-playing, and it's set in a genuinely engrossing setting. If you have a hankering for a more than decent tactical RPG, Black Legend should be high on your wish list. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below, and if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.